The portal lay in ruins, jagged spires of metal and stone protruding from a desolate world, silent witnesses to civilizations long fallen. Symbols etched into its surface glowed faintly, a warning in a language older than most stars. It spoke of power, of consequence, of a force that had once walked among the cosmos and vanished, until now, from the edge of the system, sensors flickered as a distant signal pulsed across the void. Ships decloaked, massive and angular, engines humming with a low, resonant authority. Smaller vessels flanked them, weaving through the emptiness with lethal elegance. Humanity had returned, not as a whisper of legend, but as a fleet forged in survival, experience, and defiance. The alien observers who had uncovered the portal trembled. They had hoped for curiosity, perhaps aid, but what emerged was something far greater, far deadlier. The human fleet moved as one, each ship acting with autonomy yet synchronized in intent, a single organism of will and precision. Energy arcs flared across space, shields shimmering, engines pulsing. Every signal, every movement, spoke a singular truth: the galaxy had misjudged humanity. From the flagship, Commander Hale observed the battlefield with a calm intensity. His crew moved in perfect coordination, adjusting power flows, redirecting shields, calculating trajectories with uncanny foresight. This was not reaction, it was orchestration. Humanity had endured worlds meant to destroy them, fought predators and elements that would have broken lesser species, and returned to enforce inevitability across the stars. The aliens, previously confident, scrambled in disarray. Their fleets, built for conquest and dominance, faltered against strategies they could not anticipate. Beams of energy met shields and were reflected with precision, hulls that were once invincible now cracked under calculated volleys. Humanity did not strike recklessly, they struck with purpose, each move a testament to intelligence and moral resolve. Orbital platforms and hidden stations stirred, releasing additional vessels into the formation. Drones swarmed hulls, repairing, reinforcing, and arming each ship in mid-space. Even partially constructed vessels radiated authority. The fleet was more than weapons, it was a manifestation of human ingenuity, survival, and unwavering determination. The void seemed to hold its breath as the human fleet advanced. Stars glimmered across energy arcs and polished hulls, casting light on a force the galaxy had forgotten. The ruins of the portal whispered their warning: humanity had returned. And those who ignored it would soon understand the meaning of inevitability. The human fleet moved forward with quiet inevitability, engines thrumming like the heartbeat of the void itself. Frigates and interceptors darted between colossal dreadnoughts, weaving through drifting debris and energy arcs with a lethal grace. The alien forces scrambled to respond, their formations faltering as they realized their assumptions no longer applied. Humanity was no longer hidden, humanity was command incarnate. Plasma streams arced through space, meeting shields that flared and reflected with uncanny precision. Ships that had once been the pride of the Imperium shuddered under attacks calculated with surgical care. Every movement, every strike, conveyed a single truth: survival was not chance, it was strategy, foresight, and unyielding will made manifest. Commander Hale's eyes swept over the tactical displays. Crew members operated as extensions of his mind. Hands moving in perfect synchrony, anticipating threats before they materialized. The fleet's power was in its unity, its coordination, and its adaptability. They had survived worlds designed to destroy them, mastered the most hostile conditions, and turned that experience into perfection in space combat. Bombers surged in waves, threading through alien formations, guided by interceptors that danced between debris and plasma arcs. Torpedoes struck with devastating accuracy, crippling engines, weapon systems, and shield generators. Dreadnoughts unleashed synchronized volleys that tore through enemy lines with deliberate elegance. Humanity did not merely attack, they enforced inevitability. Shaping the battlefield with intelligence and precision, orbital construction stations released partially built dreadnoughts and support vessels into formation. Drones swarmed over hulls, welding, calibrating, and powering energy cores in real time. Even incomplete, these ships radiated authority, reinforcing the message that human ingenuity was inexhaustible, and their resolve unbreakable. The alien commanders attempted flanking maneuvers, desperate volleys, and retreating strikes. Each effort was anticipated, neutralized, and turned against them. Chaos became order, desperation became calculation, and arrogance gave way to awe and fear. The fleet pressed forward, not in fury, but in certainty, a tide that no enemy could resist. Refugee arc ships drifted safely within human lines, silent witnesses to mastery beyond their comprehension. Humanity did not simply defend, they orchestrated survival, enforced protection, and demonstrated that intelligence and moral resolve could wield power greater than brute force. The void itself seemed alive, bending under the fleet's intent. Energy arcs, engines, and shields moved in perfect harmony. The aliens had called for aid, they had summoned predators. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy was about to learn the consequences of ignoring legends. The alien fleet faltered under the relentless precision of the human formation. Every attempted maneuver, every desperate volley, every evasive vector was anticipated, countered, and nullified before it could unfold. Gravity distortions, decoy swarms, and energy pulses moved as extensions of human calculation, bending space itself to control the battlefield. Ships that had once inspired terror now faltered, engines sputtering under strikes no intelligence could predict, their formations fracturing with alarming speed. From the flagship's bridge, Commander Hale observed the battlefield with unshakable focus. Crew moved as extensions of his mind, instincts sharpened by centuries of survival, every decision flowing seamlessly into the next. The fleet had become more than steel and energy, it was a living organism of strategy and will. Each vessel contributing to a singular, unstoppable purpose. Alien destroyers streaked through the void in attempts to flank and confuse, hoping to exploit weakness. Interceptors darted forward, weaving between beams of plasma and fragments of shattered ships with impossible agility, while bombers followed in synchronized waves, striking critical systems with surgical accuracy. One by one, enemy ships were isolated, corralled, and dismantled, their formations reduced to chaos. Orbital stations stirred to life, releasing partially constructed dreadnoughts and support vessels into the fray. Swarms of drones clung to hulls, welding, calibrating, and activating energy cores mid-space. Even unfinished, these vessels projected lethal authority, reinforcing the fleet and demonstrating that human ingenuity was inexhaustible. The deadliest of Earth's deathworlders had become masters of the void. Explosions flared in perfect rhythm across the battlefield. Torpedoes and plasma beams collided with shields, arcs of debris spiraling through space like cosmic fireworks. Humanity did not destroy recklessly, they enforced inevitability. Alien dreadnoughts, once confident in their power, now struggled to react. Every escape, every counterattack, every desperate maneuver had been anticipated and neutralized. Refugee arc ships drifted safely behind human lines, silent witnesses to the display of mastery. Humanity did not merely defend, they orchestrated survival. Vulnerability transformed into strength, fear into clarity, and chaos into order. Every strike, every maneuver, every shielded formation whispered the same truth: to underestimate humanity was to court annihilation. Even in moments of pause, the fleet maintained vigilant control. Drones repaired stations, weapons recalibrated, shields reinforced. Nothing was left to chance. Every ship, every crew, every calculation operated with precision born from the crucible of deathworlds and cosmic adversity. Humanity's endurance, honed in the harshest conditions, had transformed into a force the galaxy could neither predict nor resist. The alien commanders realized too late that they were no longer hunters. They were prey, outmaneuvered, outthought, and outclassed. The void seemed to obey human intent, bending under their will, shaping attacks, guiding defenses, and asserting control over every inch of space. For the refugees, and for every witness across the stars, one truth became undeniable: humanity had survived extinction, endured worlds designed to destroy them, and returned as a species that commanded inevitability itself. The galaxy would never mistake humanity again. the battlefield had shifted from chaos into a controlled rhythm, the void scattered with drifting debris, shattered alien hulls, and arcs of energy that shimmered like fire across the darkness. Every human ship held its position with deliberate precision, engines thrumming in unison, shields pulsing with controlled power. Humanity had not merely survived, they dictated the pace of battle, bending expectation and space alike to ensure that no threat could escape and no weakness remain. Commander Hale moved calmly across the bridge, his eyes sweeping over holographic tactical displays. Every decision, every adjustment, flowed seamlessly with the crew's movements. Victory was measured not in destruction alone, but in foresight, coordination, and the unyielding will to endure. Each ship, each system, each crew member radiated purpose, a testament to intelligence, discipline, and moral resolve. Orbital stations stirred, releasing partially built dreadnoughts into the formation. Swarms of drones clung to hulls, welding, calibrating, and powering energy cores mid-space. Even incomplete vessels projected authority, reinforcing the message that humanity's ingenuity was inexhaustible and their resolve unbreakable. The aliens had expected prey, they had summoned masters of survival. Bombers and interceptors weaved through the battlefield, releasing torpedoes and plasma strikes with surgical precision. Explosions flared in choreographed arcs, illuminating the void like celestial fireworks. Every strike was deliberate, every maneuver orchestrated. The aliens, even in retreat, could not escape the lattice of human calculation and anticipation. Refugee arc ships drifted safely behind the fleet, silent witnesses to a mastery beyond comprehension. Humans did not merely defend, they enforced survival, transformed vulnerability into strength, and fear into clarity. Every ship, every movement, every shielded formation carried one undeniable truth: humanity could not be resisted. Alien dreadnoughts launched desperate counterattacks, but each strike was anticipated and neutralized. Centuries of conquest, arrogance, and assumed superiority crumbled under the precision and foresight of a species forged in the deadliest worlds. The fleet pressed forward methodically. Every vessel moving in harmony, bending the void with intent. Even in rare pauses, the human fleet maintained vigilance. Drones repaired stations, weapons recalibrated, shields reinforced. Nothing was left to chance. Every movement, every calculation, every decision was deliberate, demonstrating that human strength was enduring, intelligent, and absolute. The portal ruins below glimmered faintly, a silent witness to the return of the fleet it had once foretold. Humanity had arrived. They did not merely endure, they commanded, protected, and reshaped the void with every calculated action. Stars shimmered across the fleet, engines pulsing with quiet authority. Humanity advanced with unshakable confidence. A living testament to intellect, experience, and unbreakable will. Every pulse of energy, every maneuver, every calculated strike spoke one truth: the galaxy could not challenge humanity and hope to prevail. The alien remnants scattered across the void, their formations broken, their morale shattered. The human fleet held steady, engines humming with quiet power, shields shimmering with controlled energy. There was no celebration, only the unyielding assurance that survival had been enforced, that every movement, every calculation, and every strike had left nothing to chance. Orbital drones swarmed over stations and warships, repairing hull breaches, recalibrating weapons, and reinforcing shields. Even the smallest vessel contributed to the fleet's unity, each crew member aware that humanity's survival was both a legacy and a responsibility. Every ship radiated intelligence, precision, and purpose. This was not a display of brute force, it was a manifestation of strategy, foresight, and moral resolve. Refugee arc ships drifted safely within the fleet's protective perimeter, silent witnesses to human mastery. They had called for aid, expecting mere defense or sanctuary. Instead, they were offered certainty, certainty that humanity did not merely protect, it dictated the terms of survival. Each human vessel, from the smallest interceptor to the colossal dreadnought, was a testament to adaptability, resilience, and the ability to turn adversity into triumph. Bombers streaked through broken formations, releasing calculated volleys that struck with devastating precision. Interceptors darted between debris and plasma arcs, ensuring that no enemy maneuver went unobserved, no retreat went untracked. Dreadnoughts unleashed synchronized energy volleys, tearing through alien shields, engines, and weapon arrays with flawless efficiency. Every action conveyed a single truth: humanity did not fight for glory, it fought to enforce inevitability. The alien commanders realized that they were no longer orchestrating the battle, they were reacting to it, always a step behind, their strategies anticipated and dismantled before execution. Fear replaced confidence as they grasped the depth of human calculation, and desperation took hold as their losses mounted. The void itself seemed to bend under the fleet's intent, every pulse of energy and movement reinforcing the humans' dominance. Even in the quieter moments, when explosions faded and plasma arcs cooled, the fleet maintained its vigilance. Drones repaired, construction vessels deployed new ships, and shields were reinforced. Nothing was left to chance. Humanity's endurance, honed through centuries of struggle on death worlds and in hostile environments, had been transmuted into a force that demanded respect, awe, and caution. The portal ruins on the desolate world shimmered faintly under the starlight. Their ancient warning fulfilled. Humanity had returned, and their presence reshaped the galaxy's understanding of power, resilience, and moral authority. They were not merely survivors, they were arbiters of inevitability, masters of the void, and guardians of those they chose to protect. The stars above reflected across shields and hulls, casting light on the fleet poised for any new threat. The aliens' attempts to flee or regroup were futile, every movement had been anticipated, every action countered. Humanity's return was absolute, their power undeniable, their will unbreakable. In the aftermath, a silence spread across the battlefield, not of defeat, but of awe, a quiet testament to the force that had reclaimed the void. And as the fleet maintained formation, engines humming in synchronized calm, the galaxy began to understand one immutable truth: when humanity chose to return, no enemy, no threat, and no deception could withstand them. The void settled into a vast, almost sacred silence, broken only by the rhythmic hum of human engines and the subtle glow of shields across the fleet. Alien remnants had fled, scattered across the stars, leaving drifting wreckage and shattered weapons as silent witnesses to the fleet's unyielding authority. Humanity had not merely won, they had imposed order, ensured survival, and reminded the galaxy that underestimating them came with consequences. Commander Hale moved methodically across the flagship's bridge. Observing systems, adjusting formations, and acknowledging crew with calm precision. Each vessel, each crew member, each weapon system had performed flawlessly. The victory was more than destruction, it was foresight made manifest, strategy realized, and discipline proven. This was the triumph of intelligence, experience, and moral resolve. Orbital construction stations and hidden docks activated in concert, deploying new dreadnoughts, refitting damaged ships, and sending repair drones swarming over battered hulls. Interceptors patrolled the edges of the battlefield, ready to strike at any lingering threat. The fleet was not static, it was alive, vigilant, and eternal. Humanity's dominance was not temporary. It was woven into the fabric of the void itself. The refugee arcships floated safely behind the human lines, their passengers awed, silent, and profoundly grateful. Humanity had not merely defended, they had safeguarded, protected, and enforced the continuation of life across the stars. Every ship, every calculation, every maneuver was proof that survival was not chance, it was intelligence, preparation, and unshakable will turned into action. The alien commanders, now far beyond immediate reach, glimpsed the fleet's relentless order and understood their miscalculation. The species that had once seemed extinct now loomed as masters of the void, arbiters of inevitability, and the guardians of all who relied on them. Their retreat was not triumph, it was acknowledgement of a force they could neither challenge nor comprehend. Across the fleet, drones repaired, recalibrated, and reinforced. Construction vessels deployed vessels that were only half complete, yet already radiated lethal authority. Bombers and interceptors conducted training maneuvers with impeccable coordination, ensuring the fleet remained ready, ever vigilant. Nothing was left to chance. Humanity's legacy was built on hardship, forged on death worlds, honed through battles against nature and predator alike. That legacy now stretched across the stars, tangible and undeniable. Commander Hale stood at the bridge's observation deck, eyes fixed on the distant ruins of the portal that had once warned of their return. The symbol's glow seemed almost reverent, acknowledging the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy. Humanity had arrived. They had answered the call of the cosmos, not as a fleeting legend, but as a measured, deliberate, unstoppable force. The void, once indifferent and empty, now bore witness to their authority, their ingenuity, and their unbreakable will. Even as the fleet maintained formation, engines pulsing in synchronized rhythm, there was a sense of calm mastery. Humanity had endured worse than any alien fleet could imagine, survived planets designed to obliterate them, and emerged not just alive, but supreme. Their readiness was eternal, their vigilance absolute, their purpose unshakable, and as the stars reflected across the shields and gleaming hulls, Commander Hale whispered to no one in particular, a quiet testament to human defiance, ingenuity, and protection: we endure. We protect. We rise.